And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Sans the Skeleton and Sheridan Road, who asked the question, who would win a fight? Pennywise, Georgie, or Mary Poppins? Yeah, more than one person gave me this suggestion, which is interesting. Now, I kind of get, in some ways, why it is. Mary Poppins has powers. Pennywise has powers, but one protects kids, helps them, learn their ways and things along those lines, and one eats them. So I could see how they could theoretically come to blows. Pennywise, I have had on this channel so many times I can pretty much repeat everything I know about him by heart, which is pretty much everything. Pennywise is a being from the macroverse, which exists outside of our universe. Think of it like a dome. Our universe and the macroverse beyond that. Now, I don't think it's ever truly said if he's the only one of his species. I'm going to get that up right now. But his species, it is described that he is a species. He is kind of the counterpart to the turtle. Whereas the turtle is a being of creation, he is a being of consumption and gluttony. He's a shape-shifting creature known as a glamour. Okay, who is billions of years old. So, and let me see if he's the only one that we know of, or if there are others of him. Are a shape-shifting tribe. Tribe. So there are others of his race then. And he's just apparently, or she, it's actually believed that Pennywise is a woman, or a female. That Pennywise is the most well-known of them. But billions of years old, Pennywise somehow came to Earth millions of years before humanity even settled in the area of Derry, Maine. And awakened around 17th century. So, or excuse me, I should say 18th century, but 1715, 1716, that kind of time frame. Pennywise is a psychic being of fear, essentially. Now, what does that mean? Pennywise is capable of literally plunging into your head and knowing what you are afraid of, and then manifesting that fear in real life, either through some level of illusion reality manipulation or just transforming into it. Pennywise can transform into pretty much anything Pennywise wants to. It just prefers the form of Pennywise the Dancing Clown. That said, Pennywise's abilities range from actual telepathy, a certain level of hypnosis, shape-shifting, does have superior strength to a human, obviously. Really isn't vulnerable to any physical form or form of damage that we could do to it, unless we're in a state where we are overcoming the fear of Pennywise. We're not afraid of Pennywise, in which case that physical damage would actually hurt Pennywise. Pennywise is also capable of just teleporting where it wants to go, just kind of knowing where people are, essentially. Pennywise also has Pennywise's true form. It can't really be comprehended by the human psyche. The closest we can get to it is the spider form we get in the miniseries and in the book. Because really, it's Pennywise's true form is basically is just the deadlights, which basically are these balls of light that are so. Let me get the page of the deadlights to explain it kind of what they are. Deadlights are writhing radiation were writhing radiant orange lights that were a mysterious but deadly and terrifying eldritch form of energy that originated from the preternatural dimension known as the macroverse, and a recurring plot element in the legendary horror film Dark Tower and Stephen King's It. So that's basically what Pennywise's true form is. Now, that said, though, it is said that Pennywise kind of has a form beyond that. Its true form is some sort of hairy, kind of writhing orange object, more than likely just described in the lights in a different light. But essentially, normal individuals, normal humans, are either going to die immediately from seeing them or just go insane. That's what's going to happen there. Pennywise strengthens himself. I'm going to keep saying himself because it's just portrayed as a guy, but apparently it's a woman. Or it should be a female. Well, actually, it says, they say none, but appeared as a pregnant female spider in his true form. So Penny, like I said, it feeds on fear. It grows stronger the more we're afraid of it. But therein lies its biggest weakness, is that though if you can overcome your fear of Pennywise or anything it throws at you, or if you're just frankly not afraid of him, then you will probably be able to handle yourself a little bit. It works better. Lack of fear of Pennywise works better in large groups. Otherwise, one-on-one, you will struggle to some degree. But if you just don't have fear of him, Pennywise can only do so much. And it's unfortunately it's implied that the Losers Club never actually beat Pennywise, because we see that the Deadlights show up later on. Now let's be clear, because Pennywise comes from a species, this might not be Pennywise. This could be a different member of the species that show up in later books, like in the Dark Tower series and things along those lines. So that's entirely possible. But for the sake of defeat, if you're to defeat him after all that's said and done, we'll call that a win. Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins, not much is known about Mary Poppins. We know she's magical in nature. She's there to help kids. It says she exists outside of time, so she's probably not human. She's probably some sort of magical being of some kind. What that being is, be it a witch, god, angel, whatever it may be, we don't know. But what we do know is she's very strict, very proper, but she's also got a soft spot and kind heart. She knows when it's time for play, when it's not. Now, the question quickly becomes is that what are the limits of Mary Poppins' powers? Because when you really look at what Mary Poppins does, she's capable of flight. She's capable of teleportation, essentially, transporting you for essentially to different planes of existence. Say when she goes into the animated world in the first movie, or even in the second movie, goes basically into the pot, the ceramic vase, whatever it was. It was some sort of pot sculpture Tupperware thing. Tupperware, you know what I mean. It was like vase or something. But when they go into the picture, so she's capable of dimensional teleportation. Telekinesis has always been a big one. Her umbrella is sentient and talks. When she looks in the mirror, like especially in the second one, there's that famous scene where she looks in the famous scene. That scene you see in the trailer where she looks, corrects herself, and then her reflection just looks beyond that. She's like, what? So there's no real explanation to what she's doing. Again, flying. She clearly, using magic, has enough strength to pull back the minute hand on Big Ben, which that takes feats of strength. Now, whether she's enhancing her own strength or just simply moving the hand back with magic, that remains to be seen. So she's quite powerful, but again, the full extent of what her powers are, it's a little hard to pin that down. What we do know is, though, she cares very much for children, so if the Banks children somehow are being attacked by Pennywise, she's going to come to defend them. Speaking of which, let's up the scenario. Pennywise, let's say the Banks are somehow having a trip in Dairy Maine, and Mary Poppins happens to be there. And being magical, she can sense that we shouldn't be here. Like, even Mary Poppins, even if, I'm not saying she is going to win or not, I'm just saying, even Mary Poppins, for all her power, would realize, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be like that. This thing is not something we want to be messing with. And say, oh, hello there. Oh, hi there, another Georgie. Hi there, Georgie. Oh, God, Mary Poppins. Oh, no, don't worry, man. I'm just a ditzy clown. I'll have you know, sir, that you are no clown. Now, thank you. Kindly leave us alone and to vacate this area at once. Oh, just a sad clown. He's like trying to play it off. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm Pennywise, the ditzy clown. And then she basically, she kind of even decides to use a little bit of magic. She's like, let me say it again. You, sir. And then she actually uses a little telekinesis. It actually hits him in the head with like a breaker. So like, oh no, clown. And he actually just, you're different. You're not afraid of me, are you? And then the kids say, children, go find your father. And basically, she's actually squaring off with Pennywise. Like, you made my lunch get away. Oh, but you're different, aren't you? And he kind of just transforms a little bit, just like maybe gets a bit like the insect claws like he got in the first movie. And just, you're not afraid. You got abilities too. What are you, I wonder? I turned to the Yoda there for a second. Wonder you are. What are you, I wonder? Doesn't matter. You're in my way. And Pennywise just charged at Mary Poppins, who quickly just like, nope. And then she like grabs the claw thing with the umbrella and just kind of flip flops around. It's like, nope, nope. And then basically pulls him into a book with her, probably. So now they're in a story. It's like, what the? Where are we? Ooh, you put us in the book. Clever little woman. I'd leave, but you just follow, so I guess I'll have to end you here. And it just turns into like this just giant monster of a, whatever you can think of. The problem is, the problem here for Pennywise is, I don't know if we have any definitive proof of what Mary Poppins' fears are. Like, let me see if I can find anything she might. Is Mary Poppins afraid of anything? Is Mary Poppins, not a witch, afraid of anything? So let's see if we can find a fear from Mary Poppins for Pennywise to exploit. Because if you can't exploit any fear with Mary Poppins, messed up things in Mary Poppins, everyone just know nope. She constantly denies she is anything but a prim and proper lady, and are quite terrified. Apparently, I mean, what is the meaning of Mary Poppins? Pennywise. Someone asks, is Pennywise related to Mary Poppins? Mary and Pennywise are members of the same. Here's the gist. Mary and Pennywise are members of the same species. In particular, the redditor looks to Mary Poppins, returns to substantiate the theory that both Mary Poppins and Pennywise have the same powers to use what lurks in children's minds, either for good or either evil. That's an hilarious theory. That Mary Poppins is actually a glamour from the Stephen King universe. Can we prove that doesn't take place there? I think not. I smell a spin-off. Cross those bitches over. Come on. But no, as far as I can tell, Mary Poppins isn't afraid of anything. So the fight is just going to drag. The longer the fight drags on, Pennywise is going to be in trouble. But here's the thing. There's nothing to say that if he hits Mary Poppins is just going to shrug it off. I fully believe that Mary Poppins, for all her very otherworldly powers and agelessness, is still probably as squishy as any normal human, because let's be clear, that's the Redditor's theory on if they're related or not. So if he ends up even getting like minor hits on her, she's going to be in trouble. And I do believe that he could probably surprise her at any point and just, hit her. And she's just, I am getting hungry. Normally, I like the little ones, they're easier to scare. But you'll have to do for an appetizer. He just totally goes into his, but Mary Poppins is like, nope, and just uses the umbrella, grabs just poof. And let me be very clear about one thing. One thing. I am no one's hors d'oeuvre. I am Mary Poppins, and you, sir, are no longer welcome. And just starts beating the crap out of him. As again, she's just now overpowering his ability to scare and just feed off that. He realizes he's got to get out of there, but she's not going to let him go, so she just holds on to him in there. So it eventually just comes down to these two kind of just duking it out, fearlessness, power to power, and Mary Poppins. Pennywise's last effort is to use the deadlights, and just deadlights right in front of her. Now that's the big. Now that is the $1 million question for this fight. How do the deadlights affect Mary Poppins? She's clearly not human in the same way we are. And by that admission, let me rephrase that. It's not that a human theoretically couldn't withstand the deadlights. It's just, by all account, the Stephen King universe, particularly It and everything like that, takes place in our real world. It's just this creature exists here, and being an eldritch type creature, our minds aren't capable of processing that, because in this world, this kind of thing should not exist. So our minds can't comprehend that, and therefore we go insane or die. But in different content, I'll use an example with the Joker fight in the and when I did Joker versus Pennywise. Because of everything that exists in the DC universe, Pennywise would mean jack shit to a lot of those characters. The deadlights wouldn't mean much against the Joker. It just wouldn't. It might do something, but it's certainly not going to do the effects they're supposed to have. I feel like Mary Poppins is in a similar vein. She's already supernatural, which means she's already capable of comprehending Pennywise as something beyond what he is. So, with that said, do they kill her? No, I don't think they kill her. Do they drive her insane? I don't think they drive her insane, but I do think they kind of mesmerize her temporarily. I think she's able to break out of it, break herself out of the spell after all, but I do think it takes her a little bit to kind of register what's going on, and Pennywise would capitalize on that and give it putting our shot into her with his whatever transform violence. Like maybe grab her with a giant arm, it's like, got you now, and then she snaps out of it. It's like, no, I have you. And then all of a sudden she collapses. All the buildings in the storybook they're in that would happen to be on the in the alley that they were in, and crushes Pennywise. What are you? And as he's shriveling up because she's just radiating confidence. She's never once wavered in front of him. It's like, let me explain one thing perfectly clear to you. I don't have to explain anything. And then she just kind of like does a magical curb stomp on him and then puts him to the ground. The reason I think Pennywise does ultimately lose the fight is against Mary Poppins. She's got a numerous unspecified amount of abilities. So right off the bat, she can compete with him in the supernatural department. B, she does not come off as someone who would legitimately be afraid of him. And therefore, he would not be able to manipulate her, same way he manipulates the kids. And then C, and I think this is the most important part, is I don't think the Deadlights would have the desired effect that Pennywise would hope for. I think the Deadlights might stun her a bit or mesmerize her temporarily, but I don't think they would kill or drive her insane, and I think she could break out of the effects of the Deadlights ultimately. So, unfortunately for Pennywise, the nanny brings the pain, and when it takes this match, in my opinion. But who do you think wins ultimately? Pennywise or Mary Poppins? Put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Put in the comments below. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win: Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything I do in the channel. Put in the comments below. I'll do a video about it at some point. It is the week of What If. I have tomorrow off, so what I'm going to just do is bump today's What If to tomorrow, along with tomorrow's What If, and the link to record video. Till then, thanks for watching. See you next time.